It's day one on the floor of PDAC. We have Baim from West High Yield Resources. How are you?
Tracy, I'm great. It's an exciting conference. There's a buzz in the air, and it's a pleasure to speak with you again.
Why? WHY, trading symbol, and of course you're a magnesium, silica, nickel project, correct?
That's right. In fact, iron as well. We have 4 critical minerals listed in our ore, and we have an extraction process that can extract 94% of the value in the ore. So we're quite excited about that. The most important being, of course, magnesium. It's the forefront of many discussions now in the G7 countries, specifically the United States, Canada, and China, as you may be aware, controls over 95% of the magnesium global supply right now. So we're excited. We have this great onshore resource ready to go.
And of course, this isn't just an exploration play. You're well on your way to production.
We're the next step. We have now been mine permitted. We are now working on the last little piece of engineering that should allow us to get into the ground this June, start construction and the mine development. So yeah, we're excited. We're ready to go. I mean, this is a great project.
Great project, of course, and everyone's talking about magnesium. I'm just going to get you to step back on magnesium for a second. Now, magnesium, which is controlled by the Chinese right now, presently, the U.S. government has it at the forefront. It's one of their top critical minerals that we get to find out about at the CMI. Why do you think this is the case?
Well, first and foremost, you know, the whole administration wants to repatriate manufacturing in the United States. They need a safe, critical supply chain. Magnesium is such a universal product in its own right. It is in pharmaceutical and nutraceuticals. It's in wall boards, for example. It's in cement. It's in lightweighting of metals, which is important for all the electric vehicles. It has military applications, which is another important thing in the United States specifically. So what is required is that safe, secure supply chain, and what's the beauty of our resource is it's generational in size, onshore North America, with high-grade, high-purity magnesium.
Speaking of advancing the project, the most recent news release advances processing pilot program and announces permitting advancement and, of course, a closing of a non-brokered private placement, and that was just less than a month ago. Can you give us some of the updates from this, please?
Yeah, so again, we got our Mines Act permit in October, so we're excited to continue to move the project forward. And we have the extraction process that's been developed through KPM and a couple other companies. We've now given that to Process our Tech, so we can now go to commercialization, get our design for the commercial plant, prove out the process, and move forward, because you know our full intention is to have an onshore processing plant in the near term being 2 to 3 years.
Staying on that road, let's talk about your technological advantages that you have at West High Yield Resources.
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and thank you for asking that. That's a huge differentiator for our company. What we are producing, our high purity magnesium and extracting the silica and nickel and iron with, is a closed loop hydrochloric acid leaching process. So the big differentiator of this is it does not take a lot of energy or emit CO2 like the pigeon process that's used in China. Specifically, they use coal to burn, they use high heat, and that adds CO2 to the emissions to the atmosphere. Our process is very CO2 friendly, almost CO2 neutral. It is closed loop, so the acid is regenerated, and it produces a very high quality, high purity magnesium, nickel, silicon, iron. But the point of difference there is that many manufacturers within their input products now, as they develop them, are looking to lower their carbon imprint, and as such, using our premium magnesium product would allow them again to have another check in the boxes, as this is a lower carbon manufactured product, whatever that product would be at the end of the day.
So you must have a lot of offtake partners lining up to want to work with you. Can you give us an update on that and maybe break it into the different critical minerals, like for your nickel and for your silica?
Yeah, so currently right now we have a walk, crawl, run strategic plan for the company. And the first is to get the mine up and running and extract the ore and sell it to a US-based client who will then be taken offshore to extract, because unfortunately there's no onshore facility at this point in time. While we're generating that cash flow, will allow us in parallel now to build out a commercial plant for onshore development and extraction. With that, then we will have more interest from, as we've talked about early stage with the government relative to the magnesium and silica. Silica is again at the forefront as well because of the AI revolution. AI is consuming a lot of computer power and a lot of chips, and silica is a component that is used in a lot of AI and computer chips, as well as computer glass, cell phone glass, solar panels, and so forth.
So when will you be producing?
So primarily what we'll start with is the ore, then we'll produce magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide will then be a core product, depending on the specifications of each client, that can go in anything from deweighting materials like metals, cast metals. It can go into pharmaceutical, it can go into wallboard, cement, fertilizer. There's so many applications. Why it's such an in-demand critical mineral.
You seem to be visionaries as well. You have ESG as something that you're actually talking about, and partnerships with the local First Nations communities. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, thanks again. Another great question. Indigenous reconciliation is an important part, I think, of any project here in Canada, United States, or globally for that matter. And we've been fortunate to have the support of the Osoyoos Indian Band. We have a cooperation agreement in place. They've done their own environmental assessment of our project prior to getting involved and providing their support, of which they've blessed. They also have a partner company called Schema Solutions with a mining heavy equipment contractor. And as a result, they will now be involved in the mine construction and operations, developing not only a process and practices that are environmentally friendly and have the oversight of the mine, but there's training and development and revenue generation. So it provides economic sustainability. So from our perspective, it's a great project for Y Resources, for our investors, and for the nation.
There's so much really to unpack here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have you just provide us with the top 3 competitive elements on why people should be looking and investors in the critical mineral sector should be reviewing the West High Yield Resources website to find out more information and secure due diligence.
Well, I guess if there's the top 3 is we have a multiple critical mineral mine that is now permitted. That's the important part, and I think in Canada right now, is having a permitted mine that allows you to unlock the value of your resource, which Y Resources can now do. I think the other component is we utilize 94% of the ore, so we're very environmentally friendly. And the elements that we are extracting, specifically the silica and magnesium, are key in that transition to a low carbon world and society. The third piece would be from an environmental oversight. Because we are extracting 94% of the ore, we have a very small footprint. We have no tailings ponds, no processing plant on site. And we have our Indigenous involvement who will have environmental oversight of the actual construction and mining activities. So those are 3 key things that are top of mind for anyone who's wondering about mining activity in Canada. The beauty of this is that British Columbia and Canada has some of the highest mining standards, if not the highest mining standards in the world. And as such, I think if I could talk to an investor base saying, you know, you've got to feel comfortable in knowing that you're helping advance society in a low carbon transition by supporting Canadian mining, BC, and specifically Y Resources.
So shareholders, they must be thrilled with how you're advancing this project along. It's tightly held. You can just talk about the share structure and also talk about what shareholders should be looking forward to this year in 2026.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we're a junior mining company that is now permanent. At this stage, you'd normally see a very high float. We are a tightly held stock with a very low float, never a rollback for the company. We have an excited, loyal shareholder base, and what they should be looking forward to see is that in June sometime, we should be breaking ground with respect to building the roads, and the mine design and development will be undertaken. At that point in time, 3 to 4 months, we hope to be able to mine our first commercial order and sell it.
For those of you interested in finding out more about West High Yield Resources, please go to the following website. And Barry, enjoy PDAC.
Tracy, it's always a pleasure, and I'm sure this is going to be an exciting time for everyone. So you have a great day.